Hello, and thank you for joining our YouTube channel again. We hope you're going to find this information really helpful. So if you're staring down a foreclosure auction and you feel like you're out of time, listen, don't panic. There are real steps that you can take. And let me tell you, you're not alone. In this video, we're breaking down exactly how to stop a foreclosure auction immediately, and more importantly, how to start turning things around. So let's start by understanding what a foreclosure actually is. So what is a foreclosure? It's a legal process where a lender takes back a home after the owner falls behind on mortgage payments. From the bank side, it's a way to recover the loan. But for the homeowner, man, it means a financial disaster and losing a place called home. The impact doesn't stop there. Foreclosure wrecks your credit. It really makes it harder to even rent a home, to get other loans, or even find certain types of jobs. It also brings like an emotional weight of the feelings of shame and stress and embarrassment, and just the overall feeling of fear for the future. But there's good news. Foreclosure doesn't have to end in that story. There are ways to stop or slow down the process, whichever you may need. You need to know what those options are and take action. So let's break down how foreclosure actually works. It's a process, and understanding it gives you more power to fight back. Now, step one is the notice of default. This is basically a warning from your lender. If you've missed a few payments, they'll send you this letter saying you're behind, fix it, or we'll have to take the next step towards foreclosure. So this is a chance for you to act before things escalate. Now, step two is the notice of sale. Now, if the payments aren't caught up, the lender's going to move forward. They schedule a foreclosure auction and then notify the public. Step three is the foreclosure sale, the actual auction. This is where the home is sold on the courthouse steps to the highest bidder. Once this happens, the homeowner loses the property. But there's something most people don't know. Lenders have to follow the rules exactly. If they mess up even a small detail, it may give you the legal grounds to challenge the foreclosure. That's why getting help and asking questions is so important. There's often a window of time to stop the process before it's too late. Now let's talk about working directly with your lender. Now, loan modification is where the bank agrees to change the terms of your loan. They might adjust your interest rate or extend the term of the loan, or maybe they'll take the missed payments and tack them onto the back of the loan or as a second mortgage. If you have enough income to keep making monthly payments, this can be a great way to avoid foreclosure and stay in your home. To apply, you'll need proof of income, a hardship letter, financial documents, and the actual loan modification application. It's important to apply early. The sooner you start, the better the chance you have of getting the foreclosure stopped. Foreclosure loan modifications take a pretty long time to get through that process. Many people don't start soon enough and don't attack it aggressively enough to get all the documents in, and unfortunately the auction date comes and they've not gotten a response back from the lender. So the sooner you start, the better. Another way to stop the foreclosure is through what they call a repayment plan or a forbearance. This is working directly with your lender again, and if you're behind but you still have some income, a repayment plan or a forbearance might help. Now, a repayment plan, it lets you catch up on missed payments by paying more than your normal rent per month. That works good for people who have more income at the end of the month than they do expenses. A forbearance lets you pause or reduce the payments temporarily, usually due to some kind of short-term hardship like a job loss or medical issues. Now keep in mind with a forbearance that you still have to pay everything back, usually at the end of the forbearance period. But it can give you some breathing room on a temporary basis to get back on your feet. The key here is communication. Call the lender. Don't wait. Lenders don't want to do foreclosure. They would rather work it out with you. Now, one of the fastest ways to stop a foreclosure is by filing for bankruptcy. I know that that word can sound pretty scary, and it is. This is actually an option that should only be taken if you know all of the ramifications. But let me explain. When you file bankruptcy, an automatic stay goes into effect. There's a legal order that says the foreclosure has to stop immediately. Chapter 13 is the common choice. It lets the homeowners create a repayment plan over the next 3 to 5 years to catch up on the missed payments and keep the home. But foreclosure isn't right for everyone. It can affect your credit. It does affect your credit score substantially. It has a huge impact for the next 7 years on your financial future. So always talk to a professional first. Still, it can be the right solution if it absolutely is the last resort and you absolutely know all of the ramifications. You know, almost everybody wants to stay in their home and to keep it. But if keeping your home turns out that it's not a possibility, selling it before the auction can be a smart move. So let's talk about a short sale. A short sale it happens when you sell the home for less than what you owe on the home, and the lender has agreed to accept that amount. It's not ideal, but it does avoid foreclosure, and it helps to protect your credit, some of your credit, and it gives you a smoother exit. Another option is a deed in lieu of foreclosure, and that's when you actually just give the home back to the bank voluntarily for the remaining mortgage debt, and even helps sometimes with moving expenses. That is something you probably want to talk to your attorney and CPA about, because it may have significant tax complications for you in the future. Now, both of those two options, the short sale and the deed in lieu, they require that the lender approve both of those. But they can be fast and less damaging than a full foreclosure. Now, if you just need more time, maybe 2 weeks to 60 days, there's a few strategic moves that you can use to delay the sale. Now, one method is called the debt validation letter. This is a formal request asking the bank to prove that they have the legal right to foreclose. If they can't produce the documents fast enough, the sale can often be delayed. Now, to use this letter, you have to send the letter certified mail a few days before the sale date. You follow up with the lender and the foreclosure attorney, and this doesn't always stop the process. It certainly doesn't stop it forever. It's only temporary, but it can buy some valuable time if you need some. Another option is to send the lender a full price offer. Is that if the buyer is willing to pay off if your buyer is willing to pay off the full amount of the loan, you can send the signed offer and their proof of funds along with a HUD statement, which is an estimate of the closing costs. If the bank accepts that, they'll often pause the foreclosure so that the sale can go ahead and close. And lastly, if time is running out and nothing else has worked, you can consider a temporary restraining order, or it's called a TRO. This is a court order that tells the lender to stop the foreclosure sale. But it does require an attorney, which means there's going to be legal fees, and it takes some time to prepare. So a TRO can be highly effective. It stops the sale immediately, and it doesn't hurt your credit, but it usually is a last resort, and it doesn't last forever. You know, so foreclosures, man, they can be overwhelming, but you do have options. Whether it's to modify your loan, or filing bankruptcy, or selling your home, or using legal tools to delay the auction, there's always something that you can do. The most important thing is that you take action fast. Don't wait. The sooner that you take action, the more options that you'll have available to you. And if you need help navigating these choices, feel free to reach out to us. That's what we do at foreclosuresolutionsnc.com. That's www.foreclosuresolutionsnc.com. We'll be happy to help you in any way that we possibly can and walk you through the process. Thank you very much.